So today is a bench on my 531 program. So last time I think we did as many as we could on deadlift, and today we'll kind of be seeing how much I can bench. It's not going to be a big number, and I'm wearing a silly hat. I don't know if you noticed, because I got the world's worst haircut. I don't know what happened. Um, I think it just took longer and longer, and as I looked at the mirror, my hair just kept going down and down. Um, I usually wear glasses. I was not wearing them while I was getting my hair cut. So, anyways, I was devastated. Probably the worst thing that happened is that I walked into the Walgreens next door. They only had a few hats. This is the best one I could find, and I bought one. So I've now signaled to the economy that there's demand for these hats, and I'm sure they'll get a new shipment, and that's partly my fault. So here we go. That was reasonable, I think. Because these are still light weights, I'm sort of using this as practice, I guess, or I guess to kind of explode up during the concentric motion to see if I can get some kind of, more, I guess, strength benefit from it, power benefit, I guess. And then I loaded up 5 pounds using these metal plates that I have from before, and I feel really bad sliding these onto this new barbell. So I think I do need to probably get some change plates or something. In any case, that also went up and down pretty smoothly. I'm very happy with that. So, I remember back in college, the first time that I ever benched 135 pounds. I was so happy. As I've said before, I guess I haven't made too much progress since then. I think like 3 years ago, I hit 185 pounds once. I was very, very happy back then. I think I could do more, but yeah, basically, I think I put 145 pounds as my 1 rep max doing this program. So here we are now. Here we go. I think it's around 140 pounds. All right. Went up pretty smoothly. Trying to keep my feet flat. So, if you just kind of squint and you can pretend that there's a lot more weight on the bar, it's moving pretty well. In any case, I was pretty proud of this. At least personally, I was able to get a fair amount of reps in. Thinking about it. So you see the spotter arms. I think if I were to fail a rep, I could roll it onto the spotter arms and sort of give myself a rest and probably press it up. But when you're lifting like this alone, you have to be very careful and make sure you're not going to put yourself in a situation where you yell out for help and there's no one there. So here we go. Now it's just time for those more volume reps, basically. Again, I really do like this program. I feel like you can work out in many different ways. You can do strength training, you could lift weights, you can run, whatever. In this particular case, what I'm doing is I guess trying to get more strength, like get those absolute numbers up of how much I can move off the ground and whatnot. And then I'm also trying to just sort of get more muscle, like lean tissue. And so I think this volume work is really useful for that because it does allow me to really take my time. You see me pausing at the bottom, and I'm sort of trying to stretch, like, arc my my chest out a little bit at the bottom, so that I can really stretch those muscle fibers and get as much of a, I guess, a muscle building stimulus as I can. And like I said before, I'm really trying to push it up fast on the concentric, because I'm not really too fatigued or anything right here, and I think it is nice to sort of, again, try to build that power. And again, I have these aspirations of clean and jerking, 50 kilograms one day. In any case, this program, I think next block is going to be really interesting because finally I'll be able to sort of, I guess, utilize this program the way it was meant to be used. You're supposed to, really not be able to do too much more than I think one rep, maybe, 2, 3. Whereas here, I think I did 7 during that week 3 period where you're supposed to, do 95% of your one rep max for as many as you can. I did, I think, 14 or something on the deadlift. So, obviously my numbers that I put in for the max were way off. But this time, because I've now worked out somewhat consistently, it's only been like 3-4 weeks. But because I've sort of done that and hit these numbers, I think I feel much more comfortable going into the next month with higher one rep maxes. I'm not going to put the actual, use the calculator and put 100% of that. I'll probably put like 90% of whatever that is. So for example, by doing the deadlifting set I did last week, it was like 215 for like 14 reps or something. The one rep max calculator tells me, hey, you should be able to do 315. And while that may be true, I'm just going to do 90% of that, which is around 300 pounds. And then just, completely repeat this cycle again, but with those kinds of maxes. And here we go one more time. Down slow, up fast. It's exciting. So after this week, I actually deload. So the next 7 days after this one is sort of just taking it easy, doing half the weight on some of the exercises. So that should be exciting. Getting some intro workout hydration in. I bought this bench, I think, a couple of years ago for like $60 or something off Amazon. And I do feel not unstable, but it is hard for me to sort of find a position where I feel comfortable. It constantly feels like I'm not really in the center of the bench, even though I know I am. I think that's just because of the width of the pad for the back. In any case, I don't know how interesting it is to see someone lift 75 pounds, no matter how much force they're trying to put behind it. But I think, I lift these kinds of weights at the gym too sometimes. If the program calls for me to, go ahead and bench just the bar, I'll do it. And I'll do it happily in front of a bunch of guys who are probably looking at me like, why? why is he doing this? I look like I can at least bench a little more than the bar. So maybe that, I don't know if that helps or hurts me in terms of giving me the confidence to keep doing it. But I think overall it's important to just kind of realize whatever your own goals are, realize that takes priority, and it's not about what other people think. It's about, doing what's best for you and following the program that you've decided on for yourself. Obviously, it's very easy to do this when you're home alone. I'm also trying to do a better job of keeping my wrists more in line with the rest of my, like with my arm. Trying not to let them cock back or anything. I'm like quasi pausing at the bottom. I'm trying not to just let my chest sort of recoil the bar up to make it easier. So here, this program calls for back exercises, and the initial plan was to go ahead and do like pendlay rows with that weight. But you'll see I make a last second decision. You don't see it, but I'm looking up at the little pull-up bar and I decide, hey, you know what? I haven't done pull-ups in a while. Why don't we do that? And I think partly it's because I just don't want to fatigue my lower back, and the rows, bent over kind of hurts it a little bit, but also because pull-ups are so manly, I think, and they just make you feel so cool when you can really do a lot of them. Now, you'll see here, I do not do that many. I think I do like 7. At some point in my life, I was able to do, 10 pull-ups, for 3 sets relatively easily. But that was a few years ago now. I don't think I've done pull-ups in maybe this entire year. So this person in the video doesn't know it yet, but 2 days from now, he is going to have the sorest lats. and it is going to be brutal. Here you see some camera adjustment going on, some resting, some rethinking of life decisions. Man. And one thing I will say is, I'm able to do like 5 to 10, somewhere in that range of pull-ups. I feel like I'm right on the cusp of, hey, should you be, having like a band to assist you or something? Would that make this a more useful movement for you? I think if I do this for another couple of weeks, I'll be at a point where, I'm able to do like 10 pull-ups, and it would only be, it would be pretty good. But if I was in a position where I could only do like 1 or 2 pull-ups at a time, like total for a set, I would probably do a different exercise until I could find some way to add assistance. One reason why I like, lat pull down machines is because you can, or, I guess weighted or assisted pull ups is because you don't have to sort of kip up, and you're able to sort of really go through that full range of motion. But in either case, we have set 3 of 5 coming up. I can tell you it was really sore. These also kind of get my heart rate much higher than the others, than the other exercises. It might just be because the relative weight, of my body is more than whatever I was going to do with the pendlay rows. So here we go. Maybe a little wider grip than you'd expect. Half the time I go to basically a complete hang. Hopefully these will appease the internet folk. Maybe not though. I will say the ceiling is very close to the top of my head, and I really had to think about whether this would work. But I put the pull-up bar on the lowest hold that I could, and I think it gives me maybe 2 inches of clearance above my head, hat and all. Here we go. Set number 4. Again, rethinking what I've done. But it's on camera, so I can't back out now. You can do it. And that's it. I think I took like a walk, just to, or set myself here. You might ask, hey, what are you listening to in those AirPods? No fancy. The default answer is going to be, I think, "Levitating" by Dua Lipa. So if you're not sure, it's that song, and you're probably right. All right, here we go. Last one. You can do it, buddy. I do look forward to being able to do these. At some point, I know I'll get strong enough to where I'm going to be able to do these with like a dip belt, and to be able to do these weighted. One time in my life, I got to a point where I could do that, and you just feel so cool doing either weighted dips or weighted pull-ups. So I think that would be fun to record as well. So I think that's kind of the thought that's motivating me to continue forward with this. So that's that. So I went to Seattle, I think just a couple days ago, and so I timed this out reasonably well. I on purpose wanted to make sure that I got a deload weekend, during this, because I am trying to commit myself to actually work out. Unfortunately, I didn't realize how much incline there was going to be on this trip, and it was just so much walking, hiking, and I was with a couple of guys, so obviously we didn't take enough breaks or go slow enough, and my legs feel like Jenga blocks, like a Jenga tower with like half of the pieces removed. In any case, more stuff coming up. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.